morning and happy Monday. I'm so glad to hear that the Eagles are back, at least Jackie and Shadow. So hopefully we'll see the kids soon. But let's take a look at what's happening on this Monday. We're going to open up the windows for you and show you that, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a little bit more of the low clouds and fog that have once again returned. Look how beautiful this shot is as the sun is slowly coming up, mixed in with the clouds. So this is our next weather sky cam. All right, so here's what's happening right now. We do have a little bit more of that marine influence, but it's not quite as thick as what we've seen in the past. So it is a little bit more shallow because things are slowly starting to warm up. Here's a look. I'm going to walk you over to from the coast all the way to part of our inland community. So it hasn't really made its way into areas like the San Fernando Valley at all, but we have some clouds near Santa Monica, have some clouds near Manhattan Beach, and then we do have some patchy low clouds and fog that are just to the south of the downtown LA area. So pretty clear. And then we do have some clouds in the Whittier area, no clouds in Glendora, and then we are looking at the clouds stopping right at the Yorba Linda area. So not really making its way into the Inland Empire, but you could see in Orange County, we have clouds from the coast all the way up to the foothills of the Santa Ana Mountains. So once again, we're looking at a little bit more of that no sky July for Huntington Beach and also for the San Clemente area, which is pretty typical for this time of year. Here's a look at what we're seeing as we head toward the afternoon. Once the clouds clear, it's going to be very similar to yesterday. We're looking at those temperatures near the coast, nice and comfy, 73 for San Clemente. We have those high 90s in areas like San Bernardino, and then we are also looking at those temperatures for Ontario in the low 90s. And then here's a look as you head a little bit more closer to the coast. We're right kind of in that middle where Yorba Linda and Anaheim is located. We do have those nice toasty conditions, temperatures in the 80s. And then once I walk you over to some of our foothill communities, we're still going to see some really hot temperatures. So we'll have those high 80s for the Pasadena area, and then up in the San Fernando Valley, temperatures are expected to climb into the low 90s for Woodland Hills. But if you want to head to the coast, we're looking at some really great conditions, especially for Santa Monica. Temperatures are going to be hovering in the low 70s for a lot of our beach communities. Okay, so here's a look at what we're expecting once we head toward the rest of the week. But first, it is Monday. It is a big travel day, so I do want to show you what to expect as you are heading out. Double check with your airlines. So far, our local airports look good. If we do have any delays, really minor, but just double check in case. Otherwise, if you're flying away from Southern California, the Pacific Northwest is also under a hot spell as well. So they're looking at temperatures in the 90s for Portland, 80s for Seattle, and then we still have some isolated thunderstorms and showers in the Dallas area, 89 degrees, again, a little bit more humid. And then on the eastern seaboard, also a little bit more humidity, 90s for Boston with a chance of isolated thunderstorms. We do have high 80s for the Washington, D.C. area, and then we have some low 90s in Orlando. Otherwise, here in Southern California, this is what we're waking up to. Some clouds, some mild conditions, 53 for Simi Valley. We have 63 for LAX, 55 for Corona. And then here is a look at our weather headlines. So last day of near normal conditions, the big warm up officially begins tomorrow. And this means that we are looking at some really hot temperatures. So we have already issued a next weather alert for a lot of our inland communities for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That includes the valleys, the Inland Empire, and also our high desert communities. So as we get to the rest of the week, we will slowly help monitor what's happening to help you map everything out because it's going to get hot here. But just know that today we're looking at the clouds clearing. So by 9 a.m., a lot of our inland communities will see sunshine. Some beaches will begin to clear just after 9. And then by the lunch hour, we're looking at a few clouds lingering near the coast. But you could see by the time we head into the late afternoon, early evening, we're looking at pretty clear skies all around here in Southern California. And then we'll see a little bit more of the patchy low clouds and fog make their way back inland as we head into the overnight hours. But here's a look at the way these temperatures jump. We go from low 80s today for LA and Orange County with 90s by Thursday, and then the valleys. This is where we're seeing the next weather alert being issued, and you can see why. We're looking at those temperatures in the triple digits for Wednesday, Thursday. We could see triple digits Friday, so we're going to continue to monitor the situation. But right now we have that next weather alert being issued before things cool down for this upcoming weekend. Back to you.